It's great to see you all. I'm Rabbi Barry Silver. This is Cantor Carol Garrett. It's our pleasure to be here once again to celebrate Shabbat. We Jews do believe in miracles. It was Ben Gurion who said, in Israel, a Jew who doesn't believe in miracles is not a realist. So we believe in miracles. One of them happened because of Jimmy C. We had a camera that wasn't functioning well. All of the people in cyberspace were going to be left in the dark. People were going to be so despondent, upset, because they wouldn't be able to watch L'Dor Va-Dor Shabbat celebration. They'd have to go over to some other synagogue. But somehow Jimmy C worked his magic, and now that camera is working. I can't guarantee it, but I'm a man of faith. So I believe in Jimmy. Here he comes now. I have faith in him that he was able to make this camera work. And because of his magic, he is a magician. He's able to transmit this to everybody out there. And it's a pleasure to be here with you and with them and with Cantor Garrett to celebrate Shabbat. Got a really fun service for you planned today. You're going to hear songs never heard before. You may never want to hear them again, I don't know. But we created them just for your listening pleasure. L'Dor Va-Dor is a little different than other synagogues. We're not Reformed, conservative, or orthodontists. We're not either of those. We're off the spectrum. And I do appreciate somebody having their phone ring, because that'll remind all the people that didn't quite catch the first announcement. If you can, turn off your cell phones or put them on vibrate. Vibrate is probably better because it might wake you up when you fall asleep during my sermon. All right, that's always a good thing. So we're a little different than most synagogues. We do something almost unheard of in the world of religion. We actually use reason, common sense, and the incredible revelations of science in order to guide us towards emet, which is truth, and then towards tzedek, righteousness. You can't know righteousness without understanding the world as it is. The best way to do that is through science. And so we combine the great revelations of science and religion. If you're not sure how that works, stay tuned. You're going to find out. We start out with a beautiful song that's called Ma Yafeh Hayom, how beautiful is today.
Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat, Shalom, join me. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat, Shalom. Again, Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat, Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat, Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat, Shalom.
Now, everyone here is deputized to be part of our choir. So don't refrain from singing the refrain. Sometimes you'll have the words right up here. Sometimes they'll be in here. But if you feel the urge, please join and sing with us. Now, our congregation isn't afraid to take a stand. Sometimes we challenge the status quo. Sometimes they say they're led by a rabbi rouser. But we also have someone who's part of the raging grannies, someone who's not afraid to speak up and to speak out. Her name is Gloria Stein. She's going to come up and lead us in the candle lighting. The board took a long time to figure out the exact right person for this. They figured she's always shedding light on some issue, so she should do the candle lighting. Gloria, take it away.
And I'm not Josh Holly.
That might not be on. Gloria, that might not be on, so hold on.
Oh, actually, it is.
Great.
Actually, I usually don't need it. We kindle lights every Shabbat and every festival day. A hallowed tallow of our tradition As you gaze into their flame tonight, may they illuminate your struggles and your successes. May they cast the light of comfort and clarity. May they light your path to renewal and return. We bless the light of life that renews us with our traditions as we kindle each Shabbat light. If the matches work. Don't bring my feet.
We have faith.
Good, that'll work. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivonu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
You guys are great choir. That was very good. We always harmonize. Thanks, Gloria.
You're welcome.
Okay, next we have Bring in the Light.
Please join me. Bring in the light. Bring in the light. Bring in the light of Shabbat. We light the lights of Shabbat. Bring in the light. Bring in the light. Bring in the light of Shabbat. We light the light of Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. May you have a peaceful day. Shabbat Shalom. May you have a restful day. Bring in the light. Bring in the light. Bring in the light of Shabbat. Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Some people feel a little lost because they don't understand Hebrew. And they think, all these Hebrew prayers, I don't quite get it. Well, you need not feel lost. All you need to know about Hebrew is this. It is indeed the miracle language. As I mentioned before, Jews are a people of miracles. It was Theodor Herzl who predicted the Jews will return to Israel, and once again, they will speak Hebrew as a spoken language. They said, Theodore, you're crazy. Jews are too weak. We're dispersed. We have no military. You're a dreamer. And Hebrew being spoken again as a language. Remember his immortal words? Im tirtzu en zo agadah. And for the first time in the history of planet Earth, a language came back to life from the dead. Hebrew. And became a spoken language the same today, almost, as it was 3,000 years ago. Yeah, they had to invent a few new words like airplane. Avion. It's from the word avir, which is air. Movie theater. Kolnoa. It's a moving voice or picture.
Pizza.
Car. Mechonit. It's related to the word machine. It's a machine. Like our Zeta used to call the car. It's a machine. Every time you speak Hebrew, you're speaking miracles. You're speaking a language that refused to die and a people that refused to become extinct. And every prayer is just thank you for all the gifts that we have. And one of the gifts that we have is wine, which is a physical object but can produce a spiritual result. And we can do that too. Even though we're physical, we can produce a spiritual result in people. We call up Cynthia and Murray Barth to lead us in the Kiddush. The Kiddush is a Hebrew word related to Kaddish, Kiddush, Kedusha. It means holiness or sanctification. We've already tested out the mic for you. It's working very well.
Go, you got it. That's the one.
Just hold it fairly close. We got to face the jewelry, Jewry.
Wine symbolizes the power of people to be joyful together. We find grapes in nature and we grow them in vineyards. And squeeze them into juice and ferment the juice into wine. We find ourselves in families, in communities, in friendships, in partnerships, and part of a community. It is our creativity and our efforts that make our lives that much sweeter. We therefore raise the cup and recite the blessings over the wine.
You can tell they're married for a long time. She tells them what to do and who dutifully follows.
Amen.
Now you can drink the wine. You give some to your wife too if you want.
Lovely, thank you.
They sang in perfect harmony together. Thank you. How many years was it?
66.
That's a good beginning. 66. Very good.
On Route 66.
Congratulations. You're en route for a lot of good years ahead of you, too. Now, we have one of my, I used to call them parodies, but then it was actually Cantor David Pressler who said, don't call it a parody. That seems so cheap. Call it an adaptation. This is an adaptation of a song by Neil Diamond, which you should recognize fairly soon. Through modern technology, thanks to Jimmy C. also, we got a little, it's too low, I can't hear it. When life began, sometime before all knowing, it's growing strong inside of me. Come take my hand, join me in where I'm going. Together we'll find our destiny. One flowing bright Sabbath flames, spreading light on Friday night. Sweet Sabbath wine makes the simcha seem so good. For I'm inclined as a Jew to spread peace and brotherhood. On Friday night, we are no longer lonely. If only I share my love with you. And when we hurt, we bring each other comfort and rejoice in living as a Jew. One, our God is one, so I'm reaching out as the God in me touches you. Sweet Sabbath wine makes the simcha seem so good. I'm inclined
as a Jew
to spread peace and brotherhood. On Shabbat, we drink a little bit of wine in order to realize that we can make this day sweeter, not just for others, but also for ourselves, by sharing love and peace. Sweet Sabbath wine makes the good times seem so good. I'm inclined
as a Jew
to spread peace and brotherhood.
seems so good. Sweet Caroline.
Our thanks to Neil Diamond for letting us use his song. We're going to continue now with some prayers, responsive readings. All of these prayers, as I mentioned, are just thank yous. So when you read the Hebrew, just rejoice in all that we have to be grateful for. The world around us, living in the United States, being in Mariposa, having friends and family that we care about, maybe even a pet if we're lucky, and being able to share the gift of love with others. Let us rejoice and let us read responsively. We offer thanks for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope.
For Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living.
For Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness.
For Shabbat peace, both of friendship and love.
We offer thanks and blessing, the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu, please rise, head Adonai, HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai, HaMevorach, Leolam Vahed.
We now give thanks for the universe being created and fashioned in such a way that it moves and operates according to fixed laws, which guarantee that life will continue to go on each day. These miracles we give thanks for with Ma'ariv Arabim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaho Ma'ariv Arabim. Borei yom v'layla, creator of day and night. Cholel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. U'ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, u'mavdil ben yom u'ben layla. Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Echai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Ma'ariv Arabim. Let us give thanks for the power that allows the earth to keep spinning on its axis so that life can continue just the right distance, the Goldilocks zone from the sun. We now continue with the Shema.
Join me in the watchwords of our faith. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Siéntanse, por favor. Teshvu b'vakasha. We're now going to continue with the Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם ליאור על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem.
The Shema that we recited give thanks that everything in the universe appears interconnected and it's one. Our goal as Jews is to help all people and all living things see the unity in all life, even with the different races and faces and places, to see that we're all one mishpacha, one family. The Haftarah reminds us that we should have love for other people. Love for people of different races, different nationalities, different genders or orientations, even love for people of a different political party. Imagine that. Yes, I'm an optimist and an idealist. I believe it can happen. The Haftarah reminds us that everything is part of this incredible creation. And we should approach all of it with a feeling of love. We also have the Shamru. The Shamru gives thanks for creation. So our ancestors, they didn't know anything about science. They lived before Copernicus, before Galileo, before Darwin. They thought all of this was created in 6 days, and they were amazed. Imagine what they would think if they realized that the creative process was far more incredible and amazing than anything they could have imagined. A singularity about 14 billion years ago explodes, expands, contracts, forms galaxies, stars, planets, and eventually the elements of those stars formed us in ways we're just beginning to understand. It's miraculous. We sing the Shamru, which says that the world was created in 6 days, but when we sing it, we realize no matter how sophisticated we become, we must always rejoice and give thanks for creation. And the more we know about how it happened, the more grateful we should be, because it didn't have to turn out that way. Earth survived a cosmic roulette. Asteroids and planetoids hitting each other. Somehow we survived. And we give thanks for the gift of life and for our lives as well. We continue with the Shamru.
The end, the response. Okay. Shalom Aleichem Israel, et Shabbat, L'Dor Shabbat, L'Dor Va-Dor, Berit Olam, Berit Olam. B'nei Yisrael, Odi Le'olam. B'nei Yisrael, Odi Le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim Adonai, Asa Adonai, Hashemayim el haaretz, Uvayom Hashvi Shabbat, Shabbat v'yinafash. B'nei Israel, Odi Le'olam. oti leolam. Shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, et HaShabbat berit olam.
In ancient days, before they prayed, they asked for God to open up their lips to form prayer. Many of us today don't believe in supernatural beings, but we do believe that the natural is super. And we do know for a fact that within us, there is a spirit of transcendence that's allowing us to move beyond our own little selves and to contemplate the universe and to seek to be one with us. And when we contemplate that feeling and that spirit, it literally opens up our mouths and we can share words of peace and love and inspiration. So we continue to sing these traditional prayers with new interpretations. If you like the old ones, you can stick with them too. But the orientation here is a science, rational-based interpretation of our prayers and traditions. So we continue now with Adonai, Sifatai, Tiftach. Open up my lips.
Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
There's nothing like the Jewish family. Jewish family is responsible for allowing our traditions to continue and is the reason why we're still here, even though many of our oppressors are not. Let us stand and give thanks to the Avot, the Imahot, fathers, our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors, who delivered to us this amazing heritage. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Soha, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanocha El Elyon, Komel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Mevi Geula Libnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Choser u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. אתה קדוש, בשמך הקדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך הסלע, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. We give thanks for that sacred, blessed feeling we experience on Shabbat. Please be seated.
A song by Noah Aronson. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Sing with me. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu Leshalom, Vehamidenu Shamreinu L'chaim, Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu Leshalom. Let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be a shelter from life's storms. One more time. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be a shelter from life's storms.
As you may know, I happen to wear two yarmulkes, a rabbi and an attorney. Sometimes that can be rather difficult and exciting. A Haitian client once said to me, "Rabbi, can you be my liar?" I said, "You mean lawyer, don't you?" He said, "Well, it's the same thing, isn't it?" Either way, I get to address the jury, sometimes J-E-W-R-Y, sometimes J-U-R-Y. I had a case against Palm Beach County. I'm an environmental attorney. And they wanted to take a beautiful field with animals and trees and plants. They wanted to convert it into yet another housing complex. And I was filing a suit to prevent that. And I asked in a deposition, what is on that land right now? And the response came back, nothing. Nothing? No, there's nothing there. I said, aren't there plants? Oh yeah, well, there's plants there. Aren't there some trees? Yeah, there's trees. Aren't there animals? Yeah, there's some animals. How sad that some people think that if land isn't generating money, nothing's there. Nothing, that is what is essential for life. Same thing with silent prayer. What happens during silent prayer? Some people say, nothing. Nothing? Isn't that when you use your mind to figure out how to take the greatest journey of all? From where we are today to who we could be tomorrow? If we used our full potential? Nothing. Human mind is extraordinary. Sometimes we treat it like nothing. Mostly when we just go through the motions and do the same thing over and over again without thinking, without using this prodigious organ to make our lives better. So now we're going to spend a few moments in silent meditation. I hope you'll take some of the beautiful music and words from our heritage and apply them to ourselves. It's not written in your book how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Only you can figure out how to fashion the best version of yourself the world has ever seen. So let us spend a few moments now in silent meditation. We now read a list of those people who are ailing these days.
Wait, no, hold on. The choir's going to come up. Yeah, first.
Choir's coming up?
Yeah. And they're going to sing Shalom Aleichem.
So they are. The choir, the L'Dor Va-Dor choir, will sing Shalom Aleichem.
Did you bring a sheet? I have it. Okay, Mr.
You have to share.
But I have it written down.
If you'd like to join the choir, we meet on Monday nights. And just let us know, because we'd love to have you.
Thank you very much. It's really wonderful to have Cantor Garrett working with the members of the choir. And like I mentioned last time, she has very strict standards to join the choir. You have to like singing, and you have to be enthusiastic, and that's about it. And we got a very wonderful choir. Thank you very much. Now we are going to read the names of those who are ailing these days. Elaine Chase, Bruce David, Laura Gallagher, Arthur Hoffman, Adam Cooper, Brenda Jacobson, Carol Kahn, Dr. Sudhir Nair, Bernard Rosen, Fred Spieloff, Naomi Volin, Becky Wolf, Al Tannenbaum, Howard Mandel, Howard Thomas Shaw, and Marilyn Paul. Anybody else? Yes. Yep. Yes. Thanks. Yes. 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 Thank you. Yes. Yes. Jimmy, you have somebody, or are you pointing to somebody else? Okay. He's my director. Okay. Anybody else?
And
Yes.
if you yourself are asking for healing, you're welcome to stand when we do the Mishaberach.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? All right. I'll always throw in a prayer for Mother Earth, which is ailing quite a bit. And we hope for a refuah shlema, complete restoration to good health to all of those who are ailing.
If you want to stand because you yourself are asking for healing, you're welcome to do that. Mishaberach avotenu mechor havacha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu v'chor ha'bracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. May you all be healed.
And may we remember that we also can be a source of healing. The scientists have confirmed to us that if we share our love and compassion and concern for others, it helps them get through the period. And it also allows them to feel a little better while they're suffering from their ailments. We're now going to move into the Torah service. We now do a responsive reading. Please join with me, honoring one another, doing acts of kindness. But the study of Torah is equal to them all because it leads to them all. Today we have weapons of mass destruction. In order to counter them, the Jews have lessons of mass instruction. They're in the Torah. We're going to open up the Torah and learn some of those lessons. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai hamelech le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim, ve'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
We are reading now from a passage called Pinchas. There's part of it that's a favorite part of the Orthodox. There's another part that's a favorite part of the liberal progressive Jews. I'm going to read the part that my dad always read, the one that talks about women's rights. Very appropriate at this time. Tzelophchad ben Hefer, ben Gilead, ben Machir, ben Menashe limishpachot Menashe. And the daughters of Tzelophchad approached Moses. These are the daughters of the son of Hefer, Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Menashe, the family of Menashe. Ben Yosef was the son of Joseph. Ve'el shomot benotav. These are the names of the daughters. Michla, Noah, Chagla, Milka, Tirza. ותעמודנה לפני משה ולפני אלעזר הכהן ולפני הנשיאים בכל העדה פתח אוכל מועד לאמור. They stood before Moses, before Eleazar, before the high priest, before the entire congregation of Israel at the tent of meeting. And this is what they said. אבינו עומד במדבר והוא לא היה בתוך העדה הנועדים על אדוני בעדת קורח. Our father died in the wilderness. He wasn't one of those no-goodniks who hung out with Korach. You remember that guy who was swallowed up by the earth because he was so mean-spirited? No. Ki b'chato met. He didn't share in the guilt of Korach. Uvanav lo hayu lo. But he didn't have any sons. Lama yigaha shem aviv mitoch mishpachto ki en lo ben. But why should his name be erased from among the Jewish people? Because he had no son. The names of people were carried on through the sons and through the inheritance. Tana lanu achuzah b'toch achi avinu. Give to us a percentage, a portion of his inheritance. You have to understand this is anachronistic. Modern progressive Jews don't have to try to reconcile this or put a square peg into a round hole. What inheritance would they have? They're a bunch of slaves coming into the desert. They weren't even in Israel yet. So obviously this story was written after the fact, but the lesson is still the same. Moshe et mishpatav lifnei Adonai. Moses brought this matter before God. Vayomer Adonai Moshe lemor. God said to Moses, Ken b'not Tzelophchad dovrot nachon, titen lahem achuzah nechalav b'toch achei avitem. Yes, they speak correctly. What they're saying is correct. Give to them a portion of the inheritance of their fathers. V'avarta et nachla avihem lahen. Transmit it over to them. ואל בני ישראל תדבר לאמור, איש כי ימות ובן אין לו, והעברתם את נחלתה לביתו. And proclaim this for a new law for all time. Establish this as binding precedent, that if a man dies in the wilderness and he has no sons, give his inheritance to the daughters. Ve'im en lo bat, and if there's no daughter, unetatem et nachalato le'achav, give the inheritance to his brothers. Ve'im en lo achim, unetatem et nachalato if he has no brothers or sisters, give his inheritance to his aunts and uncles. And if there are no relatives of that nature, just give it to the nearest relatives, the next of kin that you can find. Let this be a binding law forevermore among the Jewish people. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torah emet, v'chai olam nata b'tochenu, baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen. Obviously, this passage is a good one. If you're a leftist, liberal, progressive Jew, and you want to show the advance towards women's rights, many women say, well, that's not a big deal. You know, so what? There's no sons, and then we get a little crumb where we get the inheritance. That's not equality. My friends, equality didn't come in a day. This passage is quite remarkable in many ways because it describes the first step towards the advance of women's rights and of equality. reading the passage, you wouldn't really notice how earth-shattering this is. But let me just share with you that the Torah speaks to us today. There are things in the Torah that reflect current events. Last week, we read in the Torah about a talking ass. And then we watched the congressional hearings where people testified about what they did or didn't do during an insurrection against the United States of America. In this passage, it talks about someone who's committing sexual impropriety. That's the passage that the conservatives like so much. What was his name? You ready? Cosby. I make that up. I'm not making that up. Dust off your Bibles. Look in Numbers 25, and you'll see it. Why do the conservatives like this passage? This is a good one for them. The Jews weren't doing too well as far as getting people to come to services. The guys really didn't want to come. They got poor attendance. They had the best oneg they could, a nice challah, beautiful singing. It didn't work. So what do? They used cult prostitutes to lure the men in. Kind of like when they give free drinks to women. Come on out. And you got cult prostitutes. Of course, the men told their wives, we're not interested in the sexual activity. We're doing that because this is a fertility cult of the Moabites. And that's why we do it. In any event, God was not pleased. It wasn't necessarily the sexual impropriety that was so bad. It's that they were cavorting with people who were engaging in fertility rites to another god. So what does God do in typical fashion? Well, what he always does. He just wipes people out. He annihilates them and causes a plague. The plague is running strong until Pinchas comes along. The passage is named after him, Pinchas. What does he do? He sees two people who are cavorting together in public. And then they go into a tent to do their nefarious deeds. He follows them with a sword. He takes out the sword and he kills them both. God is so pleased with this act of murder that he stops the plague. And he says, now you'll be rewarded. You're going to attain the high priesthood. I give you my reward for calming me down and saving the people from a plague. The Orthodox rabbis, they're not quite sure what to make of this. Their greatest complaint against the act of Pinchas is not that he killed people. It's not that God killed innocent people. It's that Moses was there. He did it in the presence of Moses. He should have let Moses kill them. Or he should have allowed Moses to give him the order to kill him. He acted in contravention to the authority of Moses. That's what gets them upset. My friends, when we rationalize murder, when we follow a path that is not logical, we become pathological. And so we, progressive Jews, we don't look at that passage as something to emulate. We look at it as something that we've outgrown. We look at the Torah as our first effort towards morality, not our last. And we give thanks for the ability that we have with the rational mind to recognize that we can grow and improve and to realize that our ancestors had some things right and some things not right. Killing people in the name of God is not a good idea. But what do we have that's amazing in this passage? You have women who are treated with no rights. And even the United States women had no rights up until in the 1800s. They didn't vote till 1920. They had no rights. They had no legal status. They had nothing. And they came in front of a person who was supposed to speak to God face to face. They came in front of Moses and they said, Moses, guess what? What you're doing is wrong. What you're doing is not just. We have a better idea. We think that you should change. Most cultures, most religions would be aghast. They would say, well, chutzpah, how dare you? A woman coming to me and telling me what to do? They would do away with them. Imagine what would happen if somebody did that under land right now with Sharia law. Oh, by the way, Mr. Imam, I think you should change the Quran. These people had chutzpah. They demonstrated the best qualities of the Jewish people and Jewish women. And what did Moses do? Well, according to the Torah, he submits it to God. Let's just say, as modern Jews, he didn't use his own male biases and prejudice. He decided to submit it to divine principles of justice, of fairness, of kindness. And what happened? He said, "You're right." He changed. And the law changed. That's how we establish precedent in American law. The courts make a ruling, establish precedent. That's what happened. So what do we get out of this? First of all, we see where we've grown, but we ask ourselves this question: can we be like the daughters of Tzelophchad? Can we look at the people in authority today and say, you made a mistake? Are we able to go to the head of state of Florida and say, when you create laws dealing with intimate matters of abortion or contraception or anything else, will you listen to the women as Moses did? Will you listen to Jewish people and to Hindus and to Muslims and to Buddhists? And for heaven's sake, will you listen to people who are atheists and agnostics, who are tired of people telling them what to do in the name of God and messing up this world? And will you allow people to live in freedom? Can you listen to the women who are telling you what you're doing now is wrong? Women who bring life into the world, who go through the vicissitudes of life, who we should all be so grateful for enduring 9 months of pregnancy for us to be born. Can you give them a break and let them make up their minds? Can you listen? That's what it means to be Jewish, to challenge the status quo. But my friends, it's easy for us to point the finger at politicians or at other people or at our neighbor. But here's what I ask for all of us. Can we look inside of ourselves and say that what we are doing is wrong? There's a better way, a more just way, more compassionate, a kinder way. Can we see how we could behave, our highest level, and seek to accomplish that instead of making a God out of ourselves and how we behave and thinking, no, I do everything perfect. I have no room to grow. That's the challenge, and that's the excitement. Because once we apply to the Torah and to ourselves the thoughts of evolution and try to become better and better each day, nobody can predict where it'll end and what we can accomplish. My friends, let us imitate the daughters of Tzelophchad. They asked a very simple question. Why does it have to be this way? Most people in the world say, why is the world the way it is? Jews say, why can't the world be better? Others see the world as it is and ask why. Jews see the world and ourselves as it could be. And we ask, why not? Shabbat Shalom. We now have a song called Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu gave thanks to God for a protective shield about us that they thought he created with his own two hands. We now know that there is a shield about us. If you want to find out what that shield is, listen to our song.
Malkeinu, Lechaim.
us safe throughout the night. Earth's heavenly atmosphere blocks cosmic rays, but lets in light so life can thrive down here. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom, L'Shalom, L'Hamidenu Malkeinu L'Chaim. Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha. Sustain. Amen. 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 We continue now with a blessing called the Aleinu. If it's comfortable for you, please stand up. If not, you can remain seated. The Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, l'tei gedula yotzei bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzon, velo samanu b'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam kelkeinu goher, v'gor aleinu k'chamonam, ve'anachnu korim v'mishacharim u'modim l'ifnei melech melkei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu.
Please remain standing for the Kaddish. Before we read the Kaddish, we mention the names of those who have recently been summoned from us: Edward Boyd, Joan Brundage, Mel Cohen, Bernard Fettner, Francis Hyman, Linda Pruskin, Alan Shadoff, and Marvin Friedman. We also mention the names of those the anniversary of whose departure occurs these days: Dr. Leonard Bernstein, Batya Block, Miriam Brownstein-Sperber, Sidney Cohen, Gladys DeLeon, Alice R. Fishman, Lois Friedman, Arnold Fuchs, Imogene Garrett, Isabel Gitterman Friedlander, Stanley Graff, Judy Herman, Harry Hoffman, Suzanne Kahn, Sophie Kempner, William Kempner, Esther Leibovitz, Leon Levin, Leona Lustig, Ricardo Mendez, Shirley Robbins, Dr. Karen Sawitz, Harold Schipper, Diana Weber, Rachel Weber. Any other names? Yes? Yes. Yes. Anybody else? Yes.
The name on Sunday.
Yes?
The name on Sunday. The name on Sunday for the Sunday.
We hope that the names that we have read and the others who passed away at this time and recently, we hope that their memory may be a blessing. We can make that happen by incorporating their wonderful qualities and attributes into our lives, so that the goals and dreams they had will continue through us. Let us read together the Kaddish. Yiskadal v'yiskadash shemei Rabbah, v'yomad yivrach raseh v'yamlich malchuseh, v'chayachon v'yomachon v'chayeh l'chol beis Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mivorach l'olam omei omaya, yisborach v'yistabach v'yisboar v'yischoma v'yisnaseh, v'yisadar v'yisaleh v'yisalal shemei l'kedusha b'rechu, le'elam en kol b'chasa v'ushachasa, tish b'chasa v'nechamasa, Tam Yechon B'Yoma V'Yimru Amen. Yehi Shalom Rabba Min Shmaya B'Chayim Aleinu V'Yokol Yisrael V'Yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Yimrumav V'Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Yokol Yisrael V'Yimru Amen. Please be seated. We're going to continue now with a beautiful song called Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom b'mrama, Uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, ve'akol yoshvei tevel b'imru. Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mrama, Uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, ve'akol yoshvei tevel b'imru.
Last week, I didn't mention the announcements, so I'm going to mention them now because we got some great things coming up. July 26th, we have Torah study and some music with Cantor Andy Sussman. You've heard enough of me, now you can hear him and get a more traditional take on things. Actually, he's almost as out there as I am, so I don't know what he's going to do. But he will have something interesting to say about the Torah. July 29, next week, we got Shabbat right here at Mariposa. Got a song fest on August 7 with Streisand and Diamond, as they originally sang that with My Adulterations. High holiday tickets are available to all. If you live here at Mariposa, you're still invited. In fact, we'd love to see you. Everybody's welcome, and you can bring your friends. It helps support what we do, and it helps allow us to continue to be here for another day. We also have links to everything we do on our website, l'dorvador.org.
Hi, I hear a lot of talking, so maybe there's something we need to know.
It's probably some other announcement. Am I missing something? Okay. I do have one more announcement that I want to share with you. On Thursday night, if you can fight your way down to Boca Raton. Anybody ever drive down to Boca? Yeah, that's where I live. The Unitarians are hosting a rally, a pro-choice rally, pro-women's rights rally, pro-religious freedom rally. It's going to be at the Unitarian Fellowship. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have some great music, great speakers, and we're going to see what we can do to fight back. And I just want to share with you, my dad used to tell a story about his own country, Romania. They were known to be great thieves. So the story is that Diogenes went to a country, and he went to Russia, and he says, find me an honest man. He couldn't. Went to Poland, find me an honest man. He's going traveling around with his lamp in his hand. And he goes into Hungary, find me an honest man. And he gets to Romania. He goes, find me my lamp. Where's my lamp? What happened? I kind of felt like that because I went to the Jewish organizations and I say, find me an organization, a Jewish organization that's willing to fight back on behalf of the Jewish people in order to challenge this abortion law as an insult to the Jewish people and to Jewish women. Find me a Jewish organization, a congregation. And I found one. Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor. I am extremely grateful to the board and to the congregation for the pleasure that I have in representing this congregation in order to fight back and to stand up for Jewish rights, Hindu rights, atheist rights, and everything else. And if you want to be part of that and take a stand, you can come out there on Thursday, 7:30, Unitarian Fellowship. It's right near town center. Go and get something to eat first and come on over. It's on St. Andrews, a bit north of Glades. If you can't drive there, get your kids or your neighbors or somebody to take you there. It's going to be great. Yes, did you have a question? Where it is. The Unitarians are great friends of ours. They stand for all the right things, and they got courage like the daughters of Tzelophchad. That's where it is. And we also have an announcement from Carol.
Okay, actually, I have two, beginning with Marcy. She was going to come up and make a quick announcement.
I want to say also, it's a thrill to have Dave Boltson here. I haven't seen him in a long time. Fellow tennis player, therapist, hanging out with Dr. Weiss. They're comparing notes.
Right. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's great to see all of you. And Rabbi and Cantor Carol, thank you for another wonderful and meaningful Shabbat service. It's always so nice here. I have the honor and privilege of mentioning to all of you today that one of our members, Michelle Bernstein, is going to be going to Israel soon. And she very graciously offered to take some tzedakah with her, if you'd like to do that. It's a real mitzvah to bring tzedakah to Israel. And in addition to that, if you'd like to write a little note, she'll put your prayer or your wish, your note into the wall as she goes there. And I think that's really special. So if you'd like to see me after this service, I'll tell you how to do that, and we'll get it all together for you. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Dr. Marcy. And I'd like to call up Jimmy C. Yes. So Jimmy, as many of you know, has been just an incredible support. He's been helping us with getting the sound together, dragging his stuff, not only here, but when we've been doing things, rallies and other programs, other places, he's been dragging all of his equipment to like everything and helping us out and just being there for Rabbi, for myself. He helped us pick out the sound system so that we are now doing a great job. I have a little thing I want to give him from the temple. So this is for him. And then he's going to share a song with us. So thank you so much. You are
Can I use this?
Yeah.
Whatever you
It's
want. Call
yours.
your stuff.
Check. Hi, everybody.
The other one's on too.
It is really nice to see everyone. It's such a pleasure to be with you. I've been here quite a few times. And of course, it's just the whole team here to make it such a special event every Friday. It really means a lot to me to be a part of this. So thank you. The only thing that I have to tell you is that I think I'm eating more cookies than you are. I don't know, but I'll try a song for you.
Hopefully it's good. And
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I said to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I said to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, pretty in the sky, also on the faces, people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
Hey, beautiful. And if you don't know, Jimmy is a magician as well as he does this kind of stuff. So if you want to hire him sometime.
You should definitely use him for any parties you have. He's an amazing double threat, musician, singer, inspiration. We're very grateful to him for all he does for us. I think that's about it. I think we're ready to go.
Hey, the motzi? We're
Don't
gonna
go
say
too
the
far.
motzi?
We would like to say hello to you. We're going to do the motzi and then share some follow with us.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Ein keloheinu, ein kadonenu, ein kemalkeinu, ein kemoshienu, mi kemalkeinu, mi kadonenu, mi kemalkeinu, mi kemoshienu.
Thank you very much, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Don't go too
Shalom.
far. We want to say hello and we want to welcome you and want to break bread with you.